Can Britain survive multiculturalism? The answer is no. For Britain to survive, it must ditch multiculturalism. It must become culturist, and it must practice culturism. The problem with multiculturalism is that it tells Britain it has no core culture. Furthermore, it says, hey Britain, if you want to practice British culture on British soil, you're racist. Now racism is dangerous. We should avoid it. But as the word culturism makes clear, race and culture are different things. For Britain to survive, it must be willing to acknowledge that it has a core culture and have culturist laws to protect it. It's got to get rid of multiculturalism. It's got to become culturist. But what's the problem with giving into little tiny demands that Islam makes? The problem is that in Islam there's no separation of church and state. Muhammad, remember, was not just a religious leader. He was also a political leader and a violent military leader. Look it up. Jesus was not a political leader. In fact, he said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Jesus was also not a violent military leader. Ultimately, to satisfy all these little Quranic demands, you have to make the Quran the law of Britain, because there's no separation of church and state in Islam. This won't work. For the West to survive, for Britain to survive, it must become culturist. Now, how do we know what British culture looks like? Well, one clear way to do it is to look at what violates British culture. In Britain, we do not kill people who have cartoons we don't like. We don't practice honor killings. We don't have arranged marriages. The West has a very specific culture, right? We believe in democracy. We believe in freedom of speech. We believe in the separation of church and state, and we have rights. Multiculturalism says that the West has no core culture. It also says that if you want to practice that culture in the West and prefer it, privilege it, and protect it, you're racist. Can Britain survive multiculturalism? The answer is no. For Britain to survive, it must ditch multiculturalism, it must become culturist, and it must practice culturism.